Hey Ryan, welcome back. Welcome to our second video in this series. Today we're going to look at how to do some of the commands in the command line interface for Mac rather than for Windows. So let's get started. All right, so obviously Macs and Windows machines are a little bit different. We can no longer hit the Windows key and open up the start menu and then go for the command prompt. Instead, I'm going to do something relatively basic, which I'm going to use my mouse and my cursor, go up to the upper right-hand corner here of my Mac and click on this little search icon, and we're going to open up the terminal, which is what you use for a Mac or Unix machine. So I'm going to start typing terminal, I'm going to enter, it's going to launch the terminal. Now, the syntax that we use in a Mac environment versus a Windows environment is a little bit different. Whereas certain commands will look quite familiar. So the first final command that we discussed in the last video was something to the effect of the current directory, so CD. If you want to find your current directory when you're in a Mac, you're going to do, rather than CD, you're going to do pwd, and that will show you your specific directory. So this is going to be in our users, Thorn, that's me. And if, say, we went to something like documents or desktop, it would probably be users /tthornton/ desktop. So let's do that right now. How would we move forward? So if we want to move forward, again, we're going to type cd, just like we did in a Windows environment. And once we type cd, we'll start typing something like desktop. And similar to the Windows environment, what we can do is we can go ahead and hit the tab key, and that will autocomplete. If there are multiple options, we would be able to try to cycle through them. So if we were to go back to D, obviously we have our desktop. We might also have documents. So if I hit tab, so I type D and then tab, in a Mac environment, it will show you these individual items. So documents, documents, desktop, downloads, and then it would be for you to choose which of those you want. So let's go and let's do desktop. So we'll start typing desktop and we'll hit enter. And now when we do our pwd, it will show our directory, which is now users Thorn desktop. So again, we would type cd if we want to go forward, cd period if we want to go back. So cd period. And now if we do pwd, we're back one. So let's say that we want to go to documents. You start typing documents, but you wouldn't, because you'd have to go back, and before documents, you'd type cd and then start type documents, hit tab, and it moves forward, hit enter. Now, if you wanted to see what was listed in your directory, in a Windows environment, you would hit dir. In a Mac environment, you're going to hit ls for list. So we're going to just do that, type list. And similar to the last video, you get to see some of my hidden secrets. Meaning all the files in my specific directory, which again is not super organized. So don't tell anyone. I'm not the most organized person. I would not win the most organized person award, or maybe I would, but a lot of people would have to perish. That's a bad thing to say. So let's not do that. Let's go cd back, and then and pwd. So we're back. Let's go to our desktop. So this area here, we're going to go to cd desk, hit tab, cd, it's getting really angry. Oh, just kidding. First we have to do our users, because you can see users here. I'm not even in Thornton, so we'll do Thornton / desktop, hit tab a second time, it goes to desktop. And again, we're not going to hit dir, we're going to hit ls, and it will list these folders here that we have on our desktop. If we had other files, it would also list them. So we have these individual files and folders. Let's say that we want to go into our book crawler folder here. So we could obviously click like we just did, or we could, we could do it. Clearly this is opening up a lot of additional things that we probably didn't want. So, because they were all highlighted. So here we have our book scroller. So let's type cd books. We'll do the first one, hit enter. Let's say that we want to go into our bookcrawler folder. We want to go to our spiders and go to Fortune Pi. So we're going to type in cd, let's do spider. No, so my mistake. This is a spider that we wrote to crawl the web, to crawl a specific web page. So it's actually the books crawler folder has a books crawler folder in it because of the way the Scrapy framework works. So we're gonna go to that second folder. So books crawler, and then we're gonna go to spider, and then we could go to Fortune, but we'll just hit enter. Now, if we wanted to close out of all of this, instead of hitting CLS like we did in the last one, for a Mac, we're just going to hit clear. So we could type clear, and it would exit out of all that. Obviously, then it could be super useful to do something like pwd, which will show our specific longer folder, so to speak. Now, in this video, we went over things like pwd. We went things like ls for list. We went cd back. We could go cd forward or cd backward, pwd, and then we can hit clear. But that sort of wraps up this individual video. We kind of looked at how to use the command line interface for Mac rather than for Windows. Just if you want to hang on for like 2 seconds, I'll show you something kind of cool, maybe more than 2 seconds. But let's look at something cool that you can do with Python. So one of the things that you can do with Python, apart from like data science or other cool things, is you can use it for some web scraping. So let's say that we wanted to go to, I think like Fortune 40 under 40. So every year Fortune published a certain list, like Fortune 30 under 30, 40 under 40, like really cool, impressive people around the world who are doing cool things, maybe really rich or powerful. And so there's like this 40 under 40. I'm no longer super young, so maybe someday I can make it to this list. I don't know if I'll make it 20 under 20 or 30 under 30. But anyway, let's say I want to go to this list. On a Chrome, you can hit, when using a MacBook, you can hit Command-Alt-I to show the Chrome developer interface. Then you can go to Elements here. And this is probably beyond the scope of our class, of this video, but anyway, you can write Python code so that you could say scrape each of these individuals' names and their rank. So here we have Macron, Zuckerberg, so on and so forth. So we actually have a bit of code here, here in our books crawler folder. So we can move this over to here. We could open it up. Anyway, so we've written this small amount of code. We can run this code by going into our terminal. Let's see, our location is pwd. So in books crawler ls. So here we're gonna have to activate Python. So we're gonna hit source activate. I have an internal environment called test Python 2. It will activate that over here. So now you can type Python. You can see that we're using a version of Python 2.7. I'm going to exit out of that. And now we're going to do the cool thing. So we're in our specific directory that we want. So we're going to launch what's called Scrapy. And we've installed Scrapy. We'll talk about this in a different video. We installed Scrapy. And then we're going to say crawl. And then hopefully we spelled it correctly. CRAWL, and then the name of this spider here, which is Fortune. So we'll type in Fortune, and we'll hit enter. And if everything goes correctly, you can see that it pulled the ranking and the name. What we could do, if my memory serves me well, we could do Scrapy crawl. Terrible at typing. Crawl. Don't tell anyone. Fortune. I think it's -O, and then we'll call it names.csv. it's going to recrawl that, and it should output a CSV file here, which we can open. Let's open with numbers. Obviously, if you had Excel installed on your computer, you could do that. But we're going to open it with numbers. And yes, winning at life. Totally winning at life. I'm really excited about this. Anyway, you probably have cooler, more clean code than I do, but you get the rank and the name, and you could adjust your code to do the XML or the file path or whatever that you want to pull, the different variables. But that's one cool thing that you can do with Python. So that was a huge tangent out of away from using the command line interface. But that's kind of why it's useful to know a little bit of command line interface code or commands, so that you can run Python scripts like we just did with using the Scrapey framework. So that's it for today's video. I'm going to type clear, boom, and we're out. So I'll see you in the next video. And as always, thanks for watching. Catch you later, buddy.